It's no surprise that Justin Bieber posted 17 times on the day Selena Gomez married Benny Blanco. But what most people missed was the emotional weight behind it. Those posts weren't random. They were signals from a man still haunted by a love story the world refuses to let die. 3 personal sacrifices that day told the whole story. He skipped a major brand event with Hailey despite promising to attend. He filled his Instagram feed with 17 back-to-back basketball photos, an odd distraction that felt like a shield against pain. And perhaps the most telling, he reportedly booked a flight to Montecito days before Selena's wedding, a quiet act that spoke louder than any caption. While Selena stood under California sunlight saying "I do" to Benny, Justin was spiraling online, posting cryptic verses and love song snippets. Meanwhile, Hailey watched in silence as her husband's name trended alongside Selena's once again. Selena's wedding was everything hers wasn't: soft, private, and peaceful. As she celebrated love, Hailey's world cracked under the weight of old ghosts. The internet dragged her name back into a triangle she never escaped, calling her the rebound wife, the woman who could never compete with a decade of nostalgia. Justin didn't defend her. He stayed silent, posting gospel quotes that fans twisted into confessions. That silence said everything. It wasn't peace, but it was distance. For Hailey, this wasn't about jealousy. It was about emotional loyalty, about being compared to a memory she never stood a chance against. Every public smile became armor. Every no comment became survival. The internet mocked her pain and turned her marriage into entertainment. When Selena's glowing wedding photos flooded timelines, Hailey's Instagram went quiet. And that quiet became its own story. People said she was breaking down, that she couldn't handle it. But what they missed was that her silence wasn't weakness. It was strength. Behind closed doors, she was holding her world together. A woman exhausted by noise, yet refusing to fall apart for the audience demanding her tears. Still, the comparisons hurt. They always have. Every old lyric, every photo, every meme about Justin's real love was a wound reopened. And yet, Hailey didn't lash out. She turned inward. She poured herself into her brand, Rhode, building it into one of the fastest-growing celebrity beauty empires in the world. Her focus became her protection. She stopped reacting, stopped feeding rumors, and started choosing peace, even when that peace came with silence. Insiders say she set new boundaries at home. No more vague lyrics, no more cryptic posts that fuel chaos. Maybe she's even planning a quiet break. Therapy, travel, a full reset away from the cameras. Because somewhere along the way, Hailey realized something profound. She doesn't need to prove she's enough. She doesn't need to win the internet's approval or compete with the ghost of a love story the world romanticized beyond recognition. Maybe her next chapter isn't about a comeback at all. Maybe it's about reclaiming peace. Picture her now, standing in her studio surrounded by skincare bottles and natural light, the noise outside fading to nothing. For once, the headlines aren't hers to chase or defend. They're just echoes from a past she's learning to outgrow. So maybe this isn't an ending. Maybe it's the start of something quieter, steadier, a woman rebuilding herself on her own terms. Because no matter how loud the world gets, there's power in choosing silence, in walking away from the chaos that once defined you. And if you believe in redemption, resilience, and the courage to begin again, then you already know Hailey's story isn't over. It's just beginning. If you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape celebrity life. Because behind every headline, there's a heartbeat the world forgets to hear. And sometimes, it's the quiet ones who end up speaking the loudest. Weeks after Selena and Benny's wedding, the chaos around Justin and Hailey didn't fade. It evolved. Insiders revealed that Justin had entered what friends called a spiritual detox, spending hours in prayer, music sessions, and therapy. To the outside world, it looked like healing, but those close to him described something deeper: guilt, nostalgia, and emotional exhaustion. He wasn't just dealing with the fallout of public perception, he was facing the reality that his past still had control over him. While Hailey continued managing her brand and keeping public appearances minimal, Justin withdrew almost entirely. He stopped posting for weeks, skipped a few scheduled events, and was spotted attending late-night church services alone. Fans noticed how subdued he seemed, his usual charisma replaced by quiet introspection. Meanwhile, the internet couldn't let go. Old videos of Justin and Selena resurfaced, trending again under tags like Hamjalena Forever and War What If. Every smile from their past became new heartbreak for Hailey, who quietly endured it all. Her silence became her shield, but also her prison. Even when she looked perfectly composed, the pain behind her eyes was obvious to anyone paying attention. Close friends said she was emotionally numb, moving through her days with rehearsed calm, avoiding interviews and public comments altogether. And yet, behind the scenes, something was shifting. Hailey's team reportedly began planning a major brand relaunch, one that would reintroduce her to the world, not as Justin Bieber's wife, but as a standalone figure. A full campaign built around authenticity, mental health, and quiet strength. The tagline? Beauty that breathes through chaos. It wasn't just marketing, it was her story. Sources close to the couple said Hailey was finally setting emotional boundaries, no longer waiting for Justin to prove his loyalty through silence. She wanted actions, real ones, but that's when the paparazzi caught something no one expected. Justin was seen visiting a studio in downtown Los Angeles, and fans swore they heard him recording a new song, one allegedly titled "Ghosts at the Altar." Rumors spread fast. The lyrics, according to leaks, talk about watching the one you love belong to someone else and carrying rings that never fit the same. Whether the song was about Selena or his own, marriage didn't matter. The narrative reignited instantly. Within hours, headlines read, "Justin's new track fuels wedding heartbreak rumors." Hailey's response? None. Not a word. Just another post promoting her skincare line, smiling under perfect studio lighting with the caption, "Healing looks different on everyone." Fans were divided. Was it shade or self-preservation? But one thing was undeniable. Hailey had finally learned how to speak without saying anything. Behind the camera flashes and social media chaos, though, the real story felt heavier. Two people bound by love but divided by ghosts that neither could erase. Justin still haunted by what-ifs, Hailey haunted by public scrutiny, and Selena quietly living her new chapter without looking back. And maybe that's the cruel irony. The world's still replaying a story that the main characters have long outgrown. But here's what's certain. Hailey isn't fading. She's evolving. Slowly, quietly, but powerfully. And when she's ready to tell her side, not through rumors or reactions, but in her own voice, it won't just shift the narrative. It'll end it. If you're still following this emotional saga, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Because trust me, the next chapter isn't about the past anymore. It's about who finally breaks free from it. By mid-October, the silence around the Bieber household started to feel deafening, but not empty. Hailey had begun to rebuild her life on a quieter, steadier foundation, while Justin's every move still echoed with the ghosts of what once was. People close to the couple said they'd retreated from Los Angeles, spending time in a secluded lakeside home up north. No paparazzi, no red carpets, just long drives, prayer, and reflection. To outsiders, it looked like a couple hiding. But insiders said it was more of a reset, a moment where both were forced to confront what fame, love, and nostalgia had done to them. Justin, who once lived for attention, now spent hours journaling and recording acoustic demos, songs less about heartbreak and more about forgiveness. One track, described by a producer, featured the line, "I built my peace where the noise can't reach." Fans read into it, of course, assuming it was aimed at Selena, but others thought it was a message to Hailey. A quiet promise that he was trying to become the man she deserved. Hailey, meanwhile, had taken full control of her image. Her new road campaign dropped online under the tagline "Gentle Strength." The visuals were soft, stripped back, real. No flashy filters, no celebrity cameos. Just Hailey talking about balance, confidence, and peace. It went viral, not for drama, but for sincerity. For the first time, the internet seemed to see her as more than someone's wife or rival. She became a symbol of emotional survival, the woman who learned to stay calm in the storm. Still, even peace comes with echoes. On social media, fans noticed Justin refollowing a few old mutuals connected to Selena. A single playlist update titled "The Ones That Got Away" sent the fandom into meltdown again. Hailey said nothing, but her friends hinted that she'd stopped monitoring his every move. "She's done chasing explanations," one insider said. "If he's still holding on to ghosts, that's his battle, not hers." And that shift, that quiet letting go, marked the real turning point. Hailey stopped trying to outshine a memory and started shining on her own. The distance between her and Justin wasn't necessarily divorce-sized, but it was the kind that forces people to choose, keep performing for the public, or start living privately. For now, they've chosen the latter. Behind closed doors, there's talk of therapy, reflection, maybe even a break. Not out of anger, but exhaustion. Two people who loved deeply, hurt publicly, and finally realized that sometimes survival isn't loud. It's quiet. It's graceful. It's a woman putting down her phone and lighting a candle in her studio. It's a man finally learning how to sit in silence without trying to fill it. Because fame may fade, rumors may twist, and fans may move on. But peace? That's something they'll both have to build from scratch. So, whether this chapter ends in reconciliation or release, one thing's for sure, Hailey's finally writing her story her way. Not as someone's headline, not as someone's shadow, but as someone finally free. If you felt the weight of this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because sometimes the quietest stories are the ones that matter most.